My name is Vincent O'Sullivan. I'm a lecturer in the economics department. Today I'd like to speak about James Heckman, who won the Nobel Prize in the year 2000. James Heckman won the Nobel Prize for his contribution to applied econometrics. Econometrics is the use of statistical techniques and economic theory to answer economic questions. Heckman won his Nobel Prize for addressing the so-called selection problem. For example, suppose one wants to look at the employment patterns of poorer people using surveys of the labour force. In a country like the United States, this would be problematic because the United States imprisons many of its younger, poorer people, and these people don't appear in surveys of the labour force. In principle, a problem like that can be solved by collecting better data. Heckman's contribution to the sample selection problem, though, relates to situations where people are making economic decisions for reasons that are unobserved by the analyst. Suppose, for example, you want to look at the determinants of people's wages. In a data set, you'd observe people working and the wages that they earn. But what about the people who aren't working? Why aren't they working? Perhaps they're not working because the wage they would be offered wouldn't cover their childcare costs or maybe their transport costs to make it worthwhile for them to work. In economic theory, we call this the reservation wage. Heckman developed a technique for dealing with this situation. Heckman's other major contribution was the evaluation of government programs. Supposing there's a government program which aims to provide education and training to people who are unemployed. A naive analysis would be to compare the employment of people who enrolled in the program and those who did not. However, you have to ask, who are the people who enrolled in the program? Perhaps they have unobservable characteristics which make them more likely to enroll in the program and also more likely to get a job once they've finished it. Heckman and others pioneered techniques to evaluate government programs. Since winning the Nobel Prize in 2000, Heckman's work has focused on the role of cognitive and non-cognitive skills. Cognitive skills are essentially how smart you are. That's easy to measure. Non-cognitive skills are a bit harder to define and to measure. Non-cognitive skills relate to your personality, so issues like how motivated you are, how resilient you are, how conscientious you are. Heckman's work has shown that non-cognitive skills play a huge role in lifetime success. Furthermore, he's highlighted that government programs can improve the non-cognitive skills of children from less well-off backgrounds. On a personal note, I first came across Heckman in the mid-1990s when I was still at school and before he'd won the Nobel Prize. In the mid-1990s, a book called The Bell Curve was published. It was a very controversial book. It was a book that was racist in both its tone and its content. The book purported to show that IQ was the sole determinant of success in life, that it was fixed in an individual's life, and also that it varied between ethnic and racial groups. Heckman and others were extremely critical of this book. Heckman critiqued the assumptions that this book made, the reliability of the analysis, and also the conclusions of the book. And I think this episode shows that Heckman takes his social responsibility very seriously.